Item number 18, Memorandum of Understanding between Sacramento Area Council of Governments, SACOG, and the City of Yuba City for a project known as Highway 20 Revitalization Project. Ben Moody, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The item before you is the next step in a multi-phase project the city has initiated a couple years ago. In November of 2014, Mr. Bush, the past community development director, came to you with an understanding, with a report on the design that was processed and done in 2013. Highway 20 Better Street Design Guide. Basically, we used SACOG. SACOG gave us a grant a couple years ago to perform a study on how to improve Highway 20 and make it a more economically vibrant corridor. In November of 2014, SACOG awarded us another grant in amount of $100,000 to move forward with the next phase, which would be which the city would like to use to go forward with that design study and actually complete 100% plans for the block between Stafford and Clark and do 30% plans for the overall corridor. And so with your direction from November, staff is basically moving forward with contracting with SACOG for that funds and then proceeding with a designer to develop those plans. So with that past direction, staff is recommending that we authorize the city manager to execute the MOU between SACOG and the city of Yuba City, funding the associated with the city's Highway 20 revitalization project. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions of Ben? Pat Miller would like to speak on this, so I'll open the public hearing and allow for comment or questions on this item.
Thank you, and Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. I understand that this is Phase 2 of the Highway 20 Revitalization Strategy, which is a 4-phase project to beautify and revitalize the area along Highway 20 from the 10th Street Bridge to Highway 99. However, SCTA would once again like to point out the following concerns. The first concern we have is that the city's contract with SACOG says that Caltrans's approval of the project design is not required. I question that statement big time, since Highway 20 is a state highway and is under the jurisdiction of Caltrans, and anything done on the highway right-of-way must have Caltrans approval. The second concern is that any landscaping in the median and close to the travelway must be maintained, and in order to provide safety to maintenance workers, lanes must be closed. This is a heavily traveled state highway corridor, and closing lanes during the day will undoubtedly cause more traffic congestion than already exists. Closing lanes at night increases the danger to workers and would probably cost more. The third concern or question is, who will be maintaining the landscaping, the city or Caltrans? And who will pay the bill for maintaining the landscaping? The fourth concern is that we are in the middle of a drought, and while that may not always be the case, the possibility is real that there will be future droughts. No one controls the weather but our Heavenly Father. Thus, plantings that require considerable water should be avoided. I ask this council to please look closely at what is being proposed and what our tax dollars are being spent on. I do not believe that what is recommended in the Highway 20 Better Street Design Guide, produced in 2013 with the help of the Walkable and Livable Communities Institute, is the right way to go for this state highway corridor. The money would be better spent for such a project on a city street, such as Bridge Street here in Yuba City. And finally, I want to thank Diana and Robin for answering my email questions on this subject in a very timely manner. That is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat, for your comments. Ben, would you like to address some of the questions and concerns that Miller had?
Yes, I'd just like to follow up that some of the points Mrs. Miller's made are very well noted with staff. Staff fully understands that it's on the Caltrans corridor, and that's part of the reason why this project takes so much time and effort to do. And so part of the requirement with the design is that there's full coordination and approval with Caltrans for whatever we're doing, because they will have to approve it. And then also with that plan, staff understands that there's design aspects in there that aren't achievable, but there's goals and references that we can work towards, with parkway strips and different architecture to enhance the area. And so the city definitely wants to work towards a low maintenance, attractive design that is drought tolerant.
All right, thank you, Ben. Any other comments or questions from council?
Through the mayor, I've got a question for
Yes.
Ben. The money that we have here is coming from grant funds, right?
The $100,000 in question tonight is from grant funds.
Okay. And then just another point of clarification. I know Ms. Miller had made the point about doing Bridge Street, which I think needs to be done, but I believe we're getting ready to tear that road completely up within the next 1.5 to 2 years, if not sooner, for the new 5th Street Bridge. So, I know we always try to put something down, then tear it back up again. So that's why I think that we're trying to hold off on Bridge Street, but that's another street that needs quite a bit of repair as well. So thank you.
Mr. Buckland.
To make just a couple of comments, and I don't think I have anything specific for Ben. As a director on the SACOG board, one of 28 people, and I sit with Mr. Benapal, who listens to the concerns of the SACOG directors when it comes to the interaction of a jurisdiction and a proposed highway project. I think that this being in the District 3 backyard, they are very concerned about what the Highway 20 corridor looks like. They're a huge advocate of this project to be able to move traffic more efficiently through Yuba City. And it's something that we know that by stopping at Highway 99, we have not resolved our Highway 20 corridor issues. But it is the first phase of trying to bring together and kind of revitalize that commercial corridor to make it more viable. So there's more input, more financial input from the city. This plan, as we move forward, is not going to be something that will be achieved in a very short period of time. I disagree with many of Dan Burden's design pieces within that plan, but I think that there's nuggets that we can take out of that we can work with, that we can move into this next phase on. And when we talk about the 5th Street corridor, we are currently Diana and I and SACOG staff are working together to find funds to be able to move forward with that project and open that corridor up as a local street that will give us access into Marysville, also taking some of the burden off of the Highway 20 corridor. So as we move forward, things will change. We're not going to see this great, flash occur, and all of a sudden there's things that we don't want. And I think that you're exactly right. We need to look at how we're going to maintain it. I couldn't have been more displeased the other day at noon to find a highway patrol car sitting in the number 1 through lane of Highway 20 as they were patching the cracks out in the median. And I thought, boy, could we have picked a better time of day to do this? But that was a Caltrans project. But as we look at that, how can we service that, and how can we make it a good area that doesn't consume a lot of dollars on a go-forward basis once this thing is designed? So I think it's going to be important that the community be involved in that design aspect of this.
Absolutely, and I think that's your points are well taken. That whatever we decide to do there needs to be drought resistant. We need to take into consideration how is it going to be maintained. We certainly know that Caltrans has not been a very good partner in maintaining that piece of property through that's our major corridor through town. And they've done a very, very poor job of keeping that up. So as a part of this study, I would hope that we come to some agreements as to who is going to maintain it. What is it going to look like? We want our major corridors to be showpieces, like Highway 99 is between Bridge Street and Highway 20. We took the initiative to go out there and fix that because Caltrans didn't. So we want our main corridors to look good. We don't want weeds growing up or going out and putting tar over cracks and calling it good just to keep the weeds from growing. So I think this study is very timely, and I think that there will be plenty of input from the community as to what the finished product. But this is, like you mentioned, is phase 2 of a 4-phase process, and I believe that there will be plenty of opportunity for input as to what the final product is going to be like. All right, with that, is there any other comments? I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve staff's recommendation for number 18.
All right, a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. All right.